那美好里雪中，只为一人飘香。
Something ain't right.
Hiya, Shahama, Konnichiwa. Traditional music. Are we on? Yes, we are. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Real Deal Media's #1 late night show, World at War. I am Dean Ryan. And you only live twice. You only live twice is tonight's show. Tonight's episode is Police State 2026. Hope to God you can hear me, or else all hell will break loose. If not, I'll try to remember in my most feeble mind to check the live chats here tonight. As Police State 2026. This is probably one of the most important shows I have yet to do all year long when I've been able to do shows. This is the most shadow banned, censored show in America. It's annoying, it's frustrating, and somebody's going to pay for it eventually. But tonight, you're going to hear a main report tonight about the police state that's going to be affecting all of you out there. As I'm going to tell you about what is now coming to a city near you at your local red lights, green lights, yellow lights, at your intersections, the SWAT, I believe they're called, cameras. And I'm going to tell you who's behind it, how it's happening, and just how easy it is to access your DNA, your driving patterns everywhere you go. And you better believe this is happening in Europe. And the caveat too, a lot of this is manufactured in Canada, but it originates somewhere else. I'm not going to tell you because that'd be cheating. You're going to hear it here tonight in the Real Deal Politics segment. I'm going to be very proud of this one here tonight as we get to it. So Police State 2026. Also, I don't come empty-handed. You know me. Bring your own, news stories in this case. Is also we're going to be getting into the gas spikes. Yes, a lot of things are being spiked, and it's not the punch these days. No. The only punch it is right in the gut. Yes, it is. And sometimes the kisser, as we're going to be talking about the gas spikes, as the short-term pain, long-term gain. People can kiss my gas nozzle as I shove it down your throat right into my gas tank. I'll tell you more about that. Plus, there's a new surge, not in spikes and gas, but yes, in ticks, rickets. Do you want a Hanta? Do you want a Hanta? We'll be talking about that. Plus, the Ebola is saying, excuse me, Hanta, it's all about me. We're here to stay. You ain't taking us. We'll be talking about the virus wars. That's going to be very exciting. Plus, there's a new thing at the airports now that is surpassing long lines, long waits, even surpassing the new, very relative industry of line sitters. No, I'm talking about TSA rotisserie gold chicken. something you're going to want to bring on your next flight. And the TSA people are not, they're going to love it so much, they might have a little extra pinch in your derriere tonight, if you know what I'm saying. Plus, Barnes & Nobles has a huge announcement. I'll be breaking it for you. Plus some World War III news. A warning from Turkey. We went from rotisserie to now just Turkey has a message for us all. We'll see what that's all about. Plus, real deal politics. Big real deal politics. The MAGA events are rolling out as we get closer to the midterms. Yes. If you have your old red hats, well, they might be a little dusty and might remain that way. You'll see why. Plus, Thomas Massey is in the fight for his political career, and it feels a lot. He's in a fight for our lives as well. I'll explain why that is. And there seems to be a backlash against the Israelites in Congress. Yeah. What is that about? Who's the victim this time, and how do we become victims too? I'll share that with you. And then our main story, plus Trump's UFO postings are a little out there. Yes, they are. And why is that? In a new asteroid coming to a city near you just in time for the midterms, just the way we like it. That's how we like our asteroid play around here. So all that and a whole lot more right here on World at War. So before we get started, I must tell you a few things I wrote down. Well, that's a mustard packet. Okay, never mind for that. I still remember. Well, I must tell you that remember to share this. Make sure you're still following these channels wherever you're watching this hot show. YouTube unsubs 28 people a month on average. Facebook, I stopped counting. It's so bad. And Rumble, I'm thinking about just starting an entirely new channel. We've been frozen there for 3 years and they unfollow people monthly. So please make sure you're following the show as I'm competing with other shows that like to gossip about other shows who gossip about shows. The originality today is far few in between. Thank you very much for your support. And, let's just hope to God with our prayers and thoughts I can make it through tonight's show. Okay, and we're broadcasting on Real Deal, the Real Dean Ryan over there on the travel page on Facebook, as well as Dean Ryan TV and Rumble. So there we have it. Now let's get to some headlines from around the world and in your neck of the Israeli woods, shall we? Well, that destination a little up the roads from the habitations we used to know is not just a thing of the past, as now there seems to be a new nuance, this time not at synagogues. No, guess again, it's now happening to mosque. Can you believe it? Yes, just in time for the summer of PSYOPs. Well, there's one more PSYOP in the late spring that we have to get to and tend to. This time we are talking about it with great animosity and a little peace, love, and understanding too, as now shooting at mosque is now underway. This happened over there in Claremont, somewhere in California. Yes, I know Claremont well. Don't ask me why, but now 3 people have been killed after 2 teenagers have now opened fire at a San Diego mosque packed with children. So Claremont over there in San Diego County, allegedly. Well, now it's what police are now describing as, yes, you guessed it, a hate crime. Silent H over there, as the dozens of local police now and SWAT teams, including them, have now converged on the Islamic Center over there in San Diego at around noon earlier today, where they say 3 men have died. Yes, in an effort to launch a guard of war, launch a guard of distraction, and launch the infighting of Americans. Well, now 5 people are, in updated news, 5 people are now dead, including 2 teenager suspects. Very reminiscent of what we saw over there in the Boulder, Colorado shootings a long time ago, that is. Well, these 2 teenage suspects who have died of apparent self-inflicted gunshots after a mass shooting over there at the Islamic Center in San Diego just before noon earlier today. Now, the victims included heroic security guard who cops say it likely averted a worse tragedy. Now, Donald Trump, who called this shooting a, quote, terrible situation, adding, I've been given some early updates, but we're going to be going back and be looking at it very strongly. The updates probably happened before the shooting started, but don't ask me. Now, the San Diego Police Department received reports of a shooting just before noon, as I reiterated earlier, and they said it has been neutralized, unquote. Now, the Islamic Center is the largest mosque over there in San Diego, right up there with the Mormons, and is home to the school for pre-K to 3rd grade students. Now, 3 adult male victims, including a security guard, died as the result of a shooting. Now, miraculously, no children were harmed in the horror attack where Israel said, damn it, we missed. 2 suspects who are believed to be 17 and 19-year-olds died from self-inflicted gunshot wounds with probably the help of paratroopers or paramilitary effect, that is. Now, what motivated the shooting, you might ask? Well, it remains unclear. Officials have said. Sadly, there's no motivation at this time. No, there's not. There's no engraved casings, and there's no manifesto, and there's not even a rap video to go with these shootings. So what are we even covering this for? Very weird stuff. Now, this comes on the eve, or I should say post, on the heels of several shootings, one of them being at the Jewish school in San Diego. That's now on lockdown as well. Now, police told CNN, which is apparently a news organization, that hate speech was scrawled on one of the weapons used in the shooting. I stand corrected, damn it. We found the engraving, everybody, and I didn't review this story beforehand. That tells you just how clairvoyant I am. Well, they added that one of the gunmen had taken a weapon from their parents' house, and he left a suicide note, which included discussion of racial pride. Just when you thought it was just a random shooting, the FBI and the ATF said, no, we're better than that. Now, the details of the language on the weapon and the suicide note was not revealed at this time. They're still writing it, that is. Well, now the police said they believe the security guard played a significant role. They're going to start building the heroic character role, you watch, ensuring that the incident didn't result in more casualties. Now, the 3 victims were found dead outside the Islamic Center by the responding officers. Now, around the same time, reports of activity of gunfire blocks away were being reported. They don't know why. But the engravings on the rifle, the gun in question. Now, what kind of gun was it? Well, witnesses told CBS that they heard up to 30 gunshots from what he said appeared like a semi-automatic weapon. Can you believe it? Well, dozens of children are seen forming human chains to evacuate the building. Well, apparently the gunmen were just trying to look for Hamas, who were just using human shields at the mosque and hiding behind people. I mean, that's what I'm sure we would have heard from a different outcome. But the story's still developing at this time. It's worth noting, I guess, in some weird odyssey that Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, who's fighting for her political career, said the following, that she's, quote, outraged and heartbroken. And yes, that's news. So there you have it. That's what seems to be happening. They're trying to just inflame the racial tension between Muslims, Jews, and everyone else who notice things about Israel, that is. That's how that one goes. Now, continuing on. Well, now we go to gas spike. Yes, you might have noticed the pump is hurting, and it's only beginning. I mean, we're out of war. We're going into war. It's almost like the war begins and ends as soon as the music stops. Well, in this case, it's not much different in this, gas price hike, which is now, get this now, gas prices are up in the United States on average a whopping 56%. Can you believe it? Can you believe that one? Does Fox News, do they know this? Is Fox News reporting that? Is Jesse Waters, Mr. Watch the Waters, is he's reporting that? Is Mark, the Humpty Dumpty egghead Levin, telling you it's up 56%? No, because it won't affect them, because we're suckers. Well, U.S. gas prices have gone up and up and up since the country, U.S. that is, have now bombed Iran on behalf of Israel, because we love Israel, in case you don't know. Now, in March, it was reported all the way back then that the average gas price in the country had gone up from $2.89 a gallon to $3.48 a gallon. And by the way, where the hell are they starting those gas prices from? Because it's $6.15 where I am. Now, the average gas price in the U.S. is a whopping $4.51. I mean, I guess if you're looking in Nowheresville, Arkansas at this point, well, that's a 56% increase in the price of gasoline since the U.S. Had a huge role in Iran's demise, or so they say. Now, every day, the chatter about potential solutions to the war in Iran and Strait and the blockage of Hormuz, blockades and the blocking of it, the blockage of the blockade, have made gas prices go up and down like a roller coaster. But unlike Trump's poll numbers, which you'll find out later, this one is unpredictable. So we'll keep an eye on that as this war seems to have no end, no matter how close we get to the primaries in the midterms. Moving on. Well, now there's another surge, the tick surge, and that little rat and mouse that loved us that comes with it. Well, this is another tall tale sign of desperation. Yes, it is a deep state kind of thing. Well, now there's a tick bite surge happening throughout the United States. In fact, sorry, you just never can be too sure these days. Well, now tick bite surge sending many to ERs. Yes, that's true. As the tick activity increases now, experts now are taking extra precautions and they advise us to do the same before spending time outdoors. Well, emergency room visits are up for tick bites, have now reached their highest levels for this time of year since 2017 to be exact. Now, several regions of the United States are seeing increased tick activity due to warmer temperatures and the very strategic placements of tick boxes put there by nefarious actors like Bill Gates and the people that play them. Well, they're seeing now the increased tick activity due to all of those features. Now, this is all according to the people where it all stemmed from, the Center of Deception Control and Prevention. Now, an estimated 476,000 people received treatment for Lyme disease on average each year. Did you know that? That's a bioweapon. It is affecting our people 500,000 every year, making it the most prevalent tick-borne illness in the United States in quite some time. Absolutely. Now, the CDC has now issued even more warnings, in case you were paying attention, that the Northeast states are seeing the largest increase in tick-related emergency room visits since, all the way back in April, with rates far higher than the rest of the United States. The Midwest, that is the second most affected region in all of mankind. Now, what are we talking about here? I want to show you this because we need to know, and you need to know, just like I do. Here is I want to show you a graph of what I'm talking about. I think this is very key to our discussion here. Have a look at this, and depending where you live, where you reside, well, and Canada should be worried too. You're not that far. Well, have a look at this, where Lyme disease cases are highest in the United States. Well, let's see. Where am I on this list? Well, forget me for a minute. Well, as you can plainly see right there, tick bites over here on the Northeast, especially when you go across the Canadian border, the Northeast are the highest. Well, wherever Plum Island is, over there by New York, that's where it all originated from. It's made its way to Michigan, but really the Northeast is a huge, I would say the Northeast and Michigan and the Mid-East. So there you have it right there. If you can see that on your screen. If not, if you're just listening to this, yes, the Northeast, including the Mid-East as well. And there you have that one here. Okay, now we're going to go to an incredible, well, there's something else that's now coming. The new Ebola. Have you heard about this? The new Ebola is now here. Well, we have the hantavirus. We have all kinds of diseases that come from that. And it's crazy. Unlike the ticks, which is causing people Lyme disease and people to become allergic to meat from the black-legged tick. I don't even want to show you these. I hate insects to a very certain point. Anyways, yes, let me tell you about the Ebola virus that's now making waves across the country, but really this is coming out of Congo. But an American-born national who was there to help over there in Congo has now tested positive for Ebola, and it's making all of the news and the hysteria across many beltways. Well, now American tests positive for a rare, incurable Ebola strain as outbreak spreads and kills more than 100 people. Now, if you remember this from 10 years ago during the Obama years, everybody was saying, get a bathtub, fill it with ice cubes, and jump in it. So unless that was some kind of, pledge week prank for sororities. I don't know what is, but listen to this now. An American based in the Democratic Republic of Congo that has been going under becoming a ethnic cleansing genocide over there of its own by the border of Rwanda due to China and something Elon Musk, fill in the blank. Well, now as someone who is from the United States has contracted the Ebola over there in Africa's nation's latest outbreak. Now, here we go. The Center of Deception Control and Prevention said Monday, these people just seem to be Johnny on the spot, don't they? It's almost like they plant these things and just say, oh, don't worry, we have a cure. Look what's at the end of a syringe. Well, now the CDC said Monday that an American doctor working with the Medical Missionary organization over there in the DRC developed the Ebola strain that's incurable through his work of charity. Now, the unidentified individual developed the symptoms, which can include sudden fever, intense weakness, and severe headaches, sore throats, and muscle and joint pain. Yes, just for starters. Now, the infected Americans being evacuated all at once to Germany, right there where Netanyahu was last seen. It's unclear specifically why Germany was chosen. I don't know, because maybe it has something to do with somebody who went there for treatment. You fill in the math on that one. Well, it's unclear specifically why, like we were saying, but it is the home of U.S. Army's Regional Medical Center by the Landstuhl Regional Medical Center, to be exact, which has specialized wards equipped to handle infectious disease. Now, an additional 6 individuals are also in the process of being evacuated to receive treatment monitoring such of a rare incurable Ebola. About 25 people altogether are now working in the U.S. office over there in the DRC, and the CDC said it is sending another person to the region from Atlanta. Now, what is the risk, you might ask? Well, the case comes amid an outbreak of Ebola caused by something called a Bundibugyo strain, which has killed 88 people in the DRC since last month. There has also been one confirmed case and 336 suspected incidences of this rare Ebola. Among the dead are at least 4 healthcare workers. Yeah, I'm never going to Congo ever. That's just not in my that's not in my travel plans for me now. This is in closing, this is the 17th Ebola outbreak in the DRC, where the virus is an epidemic at this point since it was discovered all the way back in 1976 to, the bicentennial year, if you recall, but only the third caused by the Bundibugyo. Bundibugyo. Can you say that with me? Bundibugyo. Okay, so that's how that one goes. This is just it's incredible. Just Ebola, Hanta, everything. I don't know how we manage from that. It's just exquisite, isn't it? Well, that now leaves us to something another exquisite thing that if you're traveling this year, well, you know how bad it is traveling. You know how the TSA are so invasive, so touchy-feely, and the lines go all the way back to the parking garage. Well, what else could be possibly just creating such a monkey wrench in your travel plans? Well, there might be a change to that now, because now the TSA is now letting up and allowing certain things to pass through. And one of those things is now, well, yes, rotisserie chicken. I know. Finally, it's about time, isn't it? Let me tell you about this now, as the TSA now explains reasoning for permitting rotisserie gold chicken in carry-on luggage. It's okay. Well, just for all you meatloaf lovers out there, there will be your time to come. Well, in this case, let me tell you about this now, as the TSA has now a strict ban on a number of items when going through the airport security. Yes, you know how many expensive toothpaste, colognes, amongst others, that we've had to give up? However, now there's one thing surprisingly lenient on its list that they're going to allow you to ring on through. That's rotisserie gold chicken. Well, the TSA has explained the reason plane passengers can pack rotisserie chickens into their carry-ons luggage. Well, they're saying when traveling, people often take snacks to enjoy throughout the journey, but there are few people who would think to bring an entire chicken on their travels. While some snacks and drinks aren't allowed, well, this is now really making a change, maybe because it's all protein and very low in carbs. But rotisserie chickens, you might ask. Well, as many as you can fit in your carry-on, apparently. People were quick to react to the social media post recently expressing their thoughts on the rule. It comes as the TSA issued a warning on how to avoid long lines as summer vacation travel packs up. They want to make sure you can pack a picnic as well. One person said, I've never been a big fan of the TSA, but this might turn it around. Real ones marinate their chicken with protein shakes. That way you get the best of both worlds. That's right. Many people are very ecstatic. So far, no word on whether you can bring potato salad or macaroni or fruit salad for that fact, but sweet Hawaiian rolls, A-OK in many books on that case. It's a weird world we're living in, and I'm quite hungry. Moving on, and finally, that now brings us to this. Well, Barnes & Nobles has made almost a Guinness World Record kind of break here. Yes. One of the few chain stores that still has books where you can go in there, read magazines, read the Kama Sutra and have your coffee too. Well, let me tell you about this. This is quite exciting or dystopic, depending who you ask and how you look at it. Well, in this case now, Barnes & Noble is now selling the first number one seller of an AI written book. They're the first ones to carry it in their stores. That's right. The retailer plans to open 60 more stores in the U.S. this year because people love going there. Well, James Daunt gave us a daunting little message earlier today as the CEO of Barnes & Nobles has declared that he has, quote, no problem with AI-written books being sold in retailer stores. Still no word on whether he's going to accept Hustler or other magazines for that fact. Well, in a recent segment, the NBC News, if that's still a thing, well, they asked Daunt how AI has affected the book publishing industry. The question came amid fierce concerns in creative industries about AI-generated content replacing authentic human art and artists seeing paid work disappear as their literature is being used to train AI models. Hence, AI data centers, unquote. Well, here's a quote from many of them, or excuse me, the CEO in this case. We said, yes, I actually have no problem selling any book as long as it doesn't masquerade or pretend to be something that it isn't, and that it has an essential quality to it, and that customers and readers will love it. And it also must require a lot of pictures because sometimes reading, well, it's a real drag, unquote. Well, so there you have it right there. So Barnes & Nobles, so we're going to be replacing authors now. How exciting is that? If you're writing a book, put your pens down. What are you wasting your time for? And those are some headlines from around the world and in your neck of the woods. Let's get to some real deal, well, World War III news, because it's getting pretty hot and heavy, isn't it? It's getting pretty hot and heavy, isn't it? Okay. Well, it's getting pretty hot and heavy, isn't it? Well, that brings us now to World War III. Well, this is another surprising thing. Just as Trump came back from his China meeting, yes, where he had some incredible dim sum from McDonald's over there. You might have heard about this. He was even caught looking at Xi Jinping's notebook, which is all in Chinese, which, if you're like me, you're thinking, God, when did Trump learn how to read Mandarin Chinese? The more we know every day, the more we know every day. Well, let me tell you about this now. Now, as we were all distracted by that, as we are like cats chasing laser pens on the wall, well, this happened now. Trump says he's postponing a, quote, scheduled attack of Iran tomorrow. Gee, I wonder why. I can't imagine why. Was it something with his stocks? Was something with Xi Jinping? Well, now President Donald Trump said he's calling off the plan to attack Iran on Tuesday after the heads of 3 regional powers in the Middle East asked him to hold off. Yes, they did. Trump said he received requests from Qatar and their Saudi princes over there. They said, stop in the name of nuclear war. Well, what about Defense Secretary or the Secretary of War, Pete Megadeth, and Joint Chiefs Chairman, General Dan Kane, who said this was a horrible idea from the get-go? Well, they should still, quote, be prepared to go forward with a full large-scale assault on Iran on a moment's notice in the event that an acceptable deal is not reached, Trump said. And I'm sure they were rolling their eyes just like we are right now. Isn't that something? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. On that case, this is now, in addition to that, I can now tell you this. As we were being distracted in China, and that's one of the operative words here tonight. Well, what about Israel? Well, Israel was caught taking more land in a very flattened Gaza as now the settlers are moving in a just unbelievable news as you thought, how low can you go? And the Israelis said, well, you ain't seen nothing yet, as now extreme Jewish settlers are now eyeing Gaza after years of political fringes, support for making the war-torn Palestinian enclave. A Jewish community is gaining support across Israel like no one's business. And they don't care because they're the chosen ones. And if you don't like that, well, then you got a hate campaign coming your way. Well, over there, a river of Israeli flag winds through a desert path as hundreds of people, young, old, and near death in some cases, march toward the border in a display of their determination to build a new Jewish settlement atop of the rubble of the northern Gazan district. So few buildings are left standing after the Israeli bombardment that the Mediterranean is visible in the distance. Sad. Daniela Weiss, founder of the radical right-wing settler group Nachala, sums up the crowd's intentions, quote, "We are here on the way to new Jewish communities in Gaza, and the best part is the Americans will pay for it." So there you have it. This is quite something. If you don't believe me, just watch. Look at this here. These are the group of bingo players over there in Israel that think they're pretty hard. They're coming to take what's rightfully theirs, they say. And the best part is, again, as Americans, we will pay for it. They don't pay for nothing. So there's Gilligan, and there's the movie star, and there's the helper. Isn't that just beautiful? Well, what about that, you might ask? What does Turkey have to say about this? Erdogan is really tired of taking guff from Israel. Yes, he is. In fact, he has some starch and staunch words to say about it. Have a listen.
İsrail'in nasıl faşist bir zihniyet tarafından yönetildiğine bugün bir kez daha
I'm warning Israel one more time.
Gazze'ye insani
Stay out of
yardım
South
götüren
Lebanon.
küresel
Stop
su
bombing
filosuna
Gaza,
İsrail
or you
güçleri
will have hell
tarafından
to pay.
hem de uluslararası sularda bir saldırı
This is
düzenlendi.
their last warning. Yeah, I believe it this time. I ain't seen nothing like that. It's just incredible. So that's what's happening. I mean, these people, they don't stop. What are you going to do? They don't stop. So there's that one. Now that's going to bring us to some real deal politics, just the way you like it. Real deal politics. Yes, let's talk about it. Let's get into it now, as there's a lot of resistance lately. Yes, to Thomas Massey and all that, to MAGA. But the numbers, the math, they don't lie unless you're taking a Donald Trump math class where the outcome has to benefit him. In this case, not so much. Here's a new poll coming out. Well, look at this now. Do you think Donald Trump's decision to go to war with Iran was the right decision or the wrong decision? Well, the right decision is in the column in the brackets on your left with the color verde, which means green in Spanish. Well, 30% of all respondents say, yeah, it was the right decision. 64% of all respondents said, no, it was the wrong decision. Well, what about Democrats, you might ask? Well, 5% of Democrats, that's 5%, said it was the right decision. 93% said wrong decision. Independents, 21%, said it was the right thing to go to war. 73% said it was the wrong decision. Then you have the Republicans, or people who still identify as Republicans, saying 70% said it was the right decision, while 22% said it was the wrong decision. Yes, that's true. The numbers don't lie, do they? Well, now that brings us to our main story here tonight, almost, just about, as we go back to this one. Let me tell you about that, because the numbers don't lie. Now, what about all these events that are coming up, the stump campaigns to get rid of Thomas Massey, to build up support for MAGA? What about those, you might ask? Well, let me tell you about this now. As now MAGA events, this should give you a little synopsis of what to expect. Well, now Trump's Freedom 250 MAGA event, which is a event that started now to get ready for the big celebration July 4th, which I hope to be with all of you that night and that day. I believe it's a Friday this year. Yeah, it should be exciting. Well, he has a big event, 250-year MAGA event. Now it's being hit with empty chairs as supporters have not even shown up or are leaving early. Donald Trump's Freedom 250 rededication ceremony on the National Mall drew MAGA supporters from across the U.S., but not as many as they were hoping. Who would have saw that one coming? Well, the gathering drew individuals from across the nation who came to back the president alongside various Republican and religious figures. However, the attendance numbers plummeted dramatically following the president's pre-recorded message to his devoted fan base, or whoever's left. Parking attendants, sweepers, As attendees worship Jesus Christ and God, numerous ardent supporters appeared to disappear as the marathon 9-hour prayer event continued, coinciding with sweltering conditions, limited shade during an intense heat wave gripping Washington, D.C. It comes after Trump was slammed and compared to a third grader for his actions during the Bible reading at the Rededicate 250 event, I guess when it first started. The sudden exodus of multiple MAGA followers created noticeable gaps across the mall, lush green grass, while pastors, choirs, and various speakers advocated for America's renewed commitment to Christ, Israel. Well, it's just a sign of the time. So are you going to be going to the incredible MAGA event this year? Yeah, I didn't think so. Neither will I. Just to start and save a few bucks and go to a free event like that? I don't think so. Well, now that brings us to another one here. I want to play this for you if we even have it. What about Thomas Massie? Well, Thomas Massie is now confronting the full force of Trump's wrath in a Republican primary fight like he's never seen before. That's right. Thomas Massie, the Kentucky representative, a constant thorn on the side of GOP leaders during his 8 terms in Congress, is no stranger to a primary challenge. No, he's not. However, this year, Donald Trump's fury with Kentucky Libertarian has reached a boiling point. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it has, if you don't know.
I hope you're going to put him out of business tomorrow. I'm in the Oval Office, and we're in a fight against the worst congressman in the history of our country. His name is Thomas Massie. He's from Kentucky. I hope you're going to put him out of business tomorrow. He is so bad. Got an election coming up. He's running against a great guy, a great patriot, Ed Gilrain. He's fantastic. But forget that. Massie's the worst congressman in the history of our country, always voting against Republicans and good values. So get rid of Thomas Massie.
Yes, that's Thomas Massie living up to those campaign promises that MAGA promised. What a terrible guy. Speaking of which, speaking of politics, as we, Thomas Massie represents a real response rebuttal to everything that is, Israeli first, even what they now call the kosher right. Can you believe it? Well, what is it doing to actual lawmakers who are of Eastern European / Jewish descent? Well, that's a good question now. As now Jewish lawmakers, it's now being promoted and showcased out there, face an explosion of what they're calling anti-Semitism. Yes, let me tell you more about it. Well, now there are many congressmen like Randy Fine are getting a little worried. And you know who he's running against. We shared that with you. Well, they're now saying anti-Semitism is so resurgent in his politics that some of the worst hate speech you've ever heard has become part of the day-to-day life for some of these Jewish politicians. And they're the true victims of this, not Thomas Massie, not anybody who's anti-war. No, you're the hateful hate mongers. Isn't that something? I don't want to get too much into that, but I think you can tell where that's going. Okay, we're going to leave it there for the moment. When we get back, we have our big headline cover story that you need to hear about all of these new cameras coming up at intersections. This is not what you think the whole security apparatus of driving and being safe drivers is all about. This is something more that clearly proceeds driving and the driving safety and precursors to just being safe on the road would ever have to explain. I learned a lot from this, and I still am. So when we get back after this break, we're going to get into the police state 2026. I'm going to blow your mind. You're going to be hopefully in sharing that with your friends and family. Plus, we're also going to get into some of the new UFO stories coming out by Trump. And maybe if we have time, go through the best city street foods in your neck of the woods. See if you make the list. So all that and a whole lot more right here at World at War. We'll be back after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Be concerned about Ebola?
I'm concerned about everything, but certainly am. I think that, it's been confined right now to Africa, but it's something that has had a breakout. I could ask Bobby or Oz to say a couple of words about it if you'd like. Do you want to do that?
I think Heidi Overton is going to come up and give us a few words here. Dr. Overton.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Today, the CDC held a press briefing that provided a lot of the answers and information, but we have stood up a full interagency shorter flight time for Americans to receive treatment there in Germany. For all other Americans, we have issued travel warnings. We have instituted just today entry restrictions for non-U.S. citizens that have been in the region in the past 21 days. So in Uganda, Democratic Republic of Congo, and South Sudan. So very serious measures that have been taken. We are working to communicate very frequently with everyone. Your question was, should Americans be worried? Right now, there are no cases of Ebola in America.
Well, the biggest change I've seen in Congress is Israel literally owned Congress. You understand that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And it was so powerful. It was so powerful. And today it's almost the opposite. You have between AOC and Omar and these people that hate Israel. They hate it with a passion. They're controlling Congress, and Israel is not a force in Congress anymore. It's just amazing. I've never seen such a change. And we're not talking about over a very long period of time, but I think you know exactly what I'm saying. They had such power. Israel had such power, and rightfully, over Congress, and now it doesn't. It's incredible, actually. Well, the biggest change.
All right, welcome back. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Debonaires with Debonaires, the Visionaires with Debonaires. I'm sorry, the rat distracted me. Is that so bad? Can we see that rat again? Yeah, there he is. What a rat. His name's Pete, actually. Last name Santilli. Anyways, let me tell you about this now. You want to become a night owl? You want to become iconic, not ironic. Well, join the Night Owl cause, the movement, the moment, the precious sweet nothings. Go to realdealmedia.tv, realdealmedia.tv. You want to make a dent in the news. You want to help me see. Maybe I'm off-centered. Maybe I'm off course. Maybe you can help me help the world. Help me help you. And help the blind see. Help the blind see, be the one-eyed man. Maybe you might be king or queen. Go to RealDealMedia.tv. RealDealMedia.tv. Join tonight. Why wait till tomorrow? Yes, and I can also say this week I will have a Everything Must Go as we now get ready for the summer collection, which I will have for you next week. And I have some new items. I was debating whether I put them in now, but I said, what the hell? Why not? But then I said, no, I'm going to wait till summer collection. Anyways, I will have a new promo code for all of you out there. You can get the Real Deal Media Pirates of Hormuz and the World at War Strait of Hormuz cup, which I think is beautiful, or settle for a Sunset Beach original of Real Deal Media. Just a wonderful picture I took. Absolutely lovely. Go to RealDealMedia.tv and get your store on tonight. Let's get back to business, shall we? Yes, we shall. How about that? How about that? Okay, we are here. Oh, I'm over here. Okay, welcome back, everybody. I'm still Dean Ryan, your cruise director, cruising with you to midnight and beyond. Yes, I am. Well, you might have heard that very openly, flippantly talking about Congress and the Israeli influence. And that's very important about considering what we're about to get into. It's very important. And as war goes further in the vastness of it, just like we saw in Iraq and Baghdad, and just like we saw and we still are seeing over there in Gaza, the techniques, the weaponries, the security measures and apparatus of war and all the technology that comes with it always comes back home to roost, because the defense industry, which is the war industry, is a big profiting just moneymaker. Yes, it is. You know, I've always said we got to get rid of the war industry because the peacetime industries we could have and share throughout the world is much more influential than death, bombs, and destruction. That's my little claimer. But let me tell you about this now as we get into police state. Yeah, police state 2026. Let me tell you about this now. Well, there's a lot of new traffic infringements. You might have heard about the federal government getting in the traffic stopping business as they want to put federal cameras along the highways just to make sure there's no weary drivers with weird driving patterns that could be terrorists. God forbid they're the Muslim terrorists from Iran, who just are trying to kill us all the time and just happen to have Israeli flags in their car. Who do they think they are, Mossad? Well, let me tell you about this now. This is getting very serious. As now the FBI wants info on drivers. Yeah, Kash Patel wants info on you out there. And the people truly running the FBI, they want it as well, usually the deputy directors. Well, the FBI wants to buy nationwide access to license plate readers. Oh, really? That's right. The FBI wants to buy access for automated license plate readers nationwide, which would likely allow the agency to track the movements of vehicles by the extension of people across the country without a warrant, according to FBI procurement records reviewed by media outlets out there. In this case, 404 Media, a wonderful news outlet. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Well, the document shows that the FBI wants to continue to seek all of your records and information from local, statewide law enforcement. Now, the federal agencies are very, very hungry for it. The news also comes as protest and pushback against what are becoming, what people are noticing as the license plate readers, the SWAT cameras. Have you heard about that? Yeah, this is a very big problem. Now, in investigating this myself, I want to show you this. As I was looking more into this, just 10 years ago, if you can believe it, maybe 11 now. So now the FBI wants this. Now look at this article that I discovered here, because I get nosy when these things happen. Now, I'm going to tell you about this internal documents. This is coming out of the ACLU. This is from May 15th, 2015, exactly nearly 10 years ago, about 11 now. Check this out. Internal documents show FBI was wrestling with license plate scanner privacy issues when May 15, 2015. So it goes to show anytime they say, oh, well, they're thinking about doing it. They're wrestling with the idea. They're just getting you used to it. Like they get the pigs and the cows used to being herded for the slaughter. We all know how the Animal Farm by George Orwell ends and goes. Well, look at this. Internal FBI documents obtained by the ACLU show that doubts that have been raised within the Bureau regarding the use of automated license plate readers. The newly revealed documents suggest that the Bureau has developed a policy for the technology to address the privacy concerns, but the document remains unjustly secret. And okay, so this is a serious thing. I'm going to go heavily into this because this is going to affect all of us now. Let me go further. So the new lead documents, again, this is 10 years ago, revealed suggests the FBI's video surveillance has a fleet of license plate readers that it lends to its local field offices. So this is 10 years ago. Every field office has this now. In Anaheim, California, it was just announced last week, and I shared that with you, that Anaheim, California, Orange County, that's being now invaded by Israelis, starting in Huntington Beach. They're putting the anti-Semitic laws because you have all these MAGA sycophant city council people that want to say, I'm more MAGA than you. Hire me, Donald Trump, because they think it's good business. They're all trying to kiss ass, and now they're all bringing Huntington Beach just announced their new sister city. Is the name of the city is called Hebron, Israel. Over there, Hebron, Israel is their new sister city of Huntington Beach in Orange County. Go figure. You see where this is going. Now, so the FBI is doing this. The field offices are giving. Now, here is the best part. This is 10 years ago. Now, Obama's still in office. Read this right here. Look at this. FBI have deployed license plate readers to gather intelligence on who? Arab and Muslim communities. Oh. Well, you see where this is going. Stay with me. To watch over Occupy and or Black Lives Matter protests. All federal ran. Occupy Wall Street, that's where Tim Pool became his notability, a man who's paid by the CIA, little kid with a hoodie, or what are those things called? Yeah, he was there on the spot, then he was somewhere else. Yeah, he's another informant. Black Lives Matter protests, extremely limited information released to the public, does not answer to these possible questions. So the automatic license plate readers, sophisticated way of tracking drivers' locations, their data. They aggregate that, and they don't need a warrant anymore. And this is 10 years ago, everybody. So the FBI itself, the capacity, involvement, blah, blah, blah, refused to make them public. So the FBI is the enemy of not just drivers, but free people. God, I'm sweating just thinking about this. Let me tell you a bit more about this now. I want you to look at who runs this, okay? This is very, very, very telling. Let me get rid of this for you. Okay, so as I looked into this, who owns this? Who owns the technology, you ask? Well, get ready for this. Well, Motorola Solutions. Now, don't get it mixed up with Motorola for your mobile. This is different. This is very, very different. Motorola, which fully owns the Avalon readers, those are the cameras, provides law enforcement agencies with integrated video management systems that allow authorized access to Avalon camera feeds incompatible with third-party cameras for those like access, communication, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, CloudNet, and it gets stored in a cloud. So let me just explain. When you're going through an intersection now in heavily populated cities, whether it doesn't matter where you live in the country, in Canada too, they have the readers that get your facial expressions. If you have a new car, it tags the cloud of where you're going, where you've been, and every retail store, every gas station, every corner shop, they're using the same company and the same cameras, and it's all connected, behavioral, and it goes into social crediting scores. Then you got to ask yourself, what are these data centers, AI data centers being built? What are they truly for? Is it really just, for AI uploads and workstations and workspaces? I don't think so. I don't think so, and I'm going to explain why. Let's go a little further in this investigation here. Well, look at this now. I'll be a monkey's rabbi. Well, Motorola Solutions has longstanding and significant presence in where? Oh, Israel, through its wholly owned subsidiary, Motorola Solutions Israel Limited, established all the way back in '64. Headquarters office, 5 Direch Ha Shalom Street, Tel Aviv, Israel. Wow. I'm a lot of things, but not stupid or blind. Continuing. And by the way, if you're just joining me, this is where all the cameras, all the security tech is coming from, Israel. So when you hear about, oh, Trump got rid of China's Huawei, well, that's great. We applaud it, but he replaces it with Israel that will explode your cell phone if they don't like you. Continuing. Well, look at this one here now. The ownership breakdown. Who owns it? Well, a lot of investors, some of them and most of them, Vanguard, the largest holder, BlackRock, State Street. The top 25 shareholders collectively control about 50% of the company. Well, excuse me, who owns BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street too? Larry Fink, Israeli owned. It's so bad they don't even give people's investments back right now. They know when society falls, the police state rises, right up there with gladiatorial sports, because they know people are going to get hungry, pissed, and desperate, just like them. They're getting us ready for the kill shots. Continuing, look at this now. Well, AI, what is it done? How does it work? If you're going past intersection, the AI cameras, well, they're going to identify a person at every instance entering stores, driving, walking past intersections or beacons. Detection, the cameras are 360 degrees. They use edge and server AI to detect, classify persons, vehicles in the live feed. Now, analytics over there for the Avalon appearance, so they search by physical description. Excuse me. I don't know what the hell just happened. Clothing, color, gender, age, build, reference photo. It scans all connected cameras' history and returns every matching appearance with timestamps, location, and video clips. And yes, facial recognition too. Yeah. So when a cop comes now on their little cameras to visit you, when they heard you've been speaking ill will of Larry Fink, well, they just need a little side pose from you to get all your information, and then they put it into the system and they see where you've been driving, who you've been driving to, who you've been driving with, why you've been driving, and they determine if you're still going to be driving. Ultimately, okay, and we have one more to go. Ultimately, this is because they want the 15-minute cities. They don't want individuals, humans, us cockroaches, driving transportation vehicles. They want full spectrum control. I tell you, finally here. Well, here it is right now. Notable aspects: the company and its Israeli subsidiary have been listed now as the UN database of businesses involved in activities related to Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories. Okay, some pension funds, and basically, let me translate that for you. Motorola Solutions, which basically own all of the intersection security cams, the cops use them too. They're being recognized by the UN and many countries around the world as businesses that will work with the genocidal rogue nation of Israel. It's so bad that Italy have canceled all technological security weaponries and systems from Israel. They tore up the contracts. That's how bad it's getting. However, if it's the U.S. and the little city councils that would just want to say, oh, Donald Trump, pick me. I'm most MAGA. I'm a true conservative, whatever that means. Pick me. I love Israel. The city council people are the demons in our society. If you're listening to this and you live in Orange County, you live in Anaheim, which is the highest human trafficked city in all of California, and the second most dangerous city in Orange County, right after Santa Ana, which is being ran by the cartels and the cops are in on it. Listen to this, take it carefully, because this is spreading fast everywhere. Nobody has any idea how dangerous this is and what this is going to be for the future, as the next final boss we're going to have to beat after Israel is going to be the technological technocrat and their monsters called the AI robots. You see where this is going? So this is really weighing on my mind, and that's how I feel about it. What do you think out there? How do you feel before I just get very Rambo-like? You know what I mean? Let's take a few questions, comments, concerns. Have you seen some of these cameras in your neck of the woods? I'd love to hear about it. In fact, if you don't even want to be public right now, feel free to email me. Tell me your story about it. You sure as hell can do that. I want to hear about it. I've heard some very daunting stories from people who've been persecuted by the district attorneys of many of these cities. I've yet to meet a patriotic district attorney, let alone a very credible and sound-minded district attorney who's not on the dark side. But these people who have the prosecution powers and the city councils they're all tied in with the Israeli security apparatus. It's disgusting, actually. And that's why treason is too nice of a word that needs to be used. All right, here's some people. And if you want to email me, feel free to do so at info@realdealmedia.tv, info@realdealmedia.tv. And I'll keep this going. You want to keep these broadcasts going? Feel free to do so. PayPal.me/TheRealDeanRyan. Venmo, Cash App as well. It's on your screen. This is why I get censored. Can you imagine? Because I have a conscience, I have a memory, and I have a mean left hook too. So that's why that's the problem here. All right, let's see what people are saying. I believe I saw Ranger Buck who said he's voting for Spencer Pratt. Thank you for that. Never say that while I'm live, Buck. It throws me off and I can't help it. I want to find it. Here it is. Okay, Ranger Buck says, I'm thinking about flying to LA so I can vote for Spencer Pratt. They can't check my ID, right? That's a noble man, Buck. And when you do get to LA, sorry, my beeper was beeping pretty loudly, as you might have heard. Anyways, yeah, Spencer Pratt running for mayor of LA. Let's hope he wins. He's got to beat the Brillo pad, Karen Bass. Karen, I knew the fire was coming 2 days before it happened, Bass. Let's hope so. And it's all weighing on one vote, and that vote is from Ranger Buck. If he can fly to LA, let me know beforehand. You can sway the election, Buck. It's only up to you. Okay, thank you very much. There's that one. Let me go to Rumble here. We have the real General Mahdi says, peace, Ranger Buck. You two should connect and see if I can both come to LA. That'd be a lot of fun. Beep, beep, beep. Yes. Better than beep, beep, boom, and kabooey. We also have people and their car alarms. Oops, I forgot to open my, open my car with my key before I opened it. Stupid. I never liked them. They're worthless. Car alarms never work. I've hated them since the 90s. All right, here's another one. We have David Anders says, maybe I don't want Motorola phone now. Dave, I tried to tell you, it's different than Motorola. Motorola is owned by the Chinese. I believe the Israelis called their security systems Motorola, so we would confuse it with Motorola phones from China. Therefore, we wouldn't see the nefarious details about these cameras. This is bad. I'm telling you. It was bad 10 years ago in that little news blurb, but no one who goes to aclu.org to go read stuff. Okay, there's that one. But Dave, that's okay. I wouldn't use Motorola either. Okay, we have Rumble Mania says Trump posted that they found 500 legal mail ballots and sent out to my state of Maryland. Well, we'd like to see the proof on that, as well as the kids that they found underground. We need we need some proof, because everything else from insiders is all cryptic clues of trying to prove how real Q is. Okay, that's not, we're not in that game anymore. It's about who's controlling the narrative for these people. And, they seem to grow and their spikes and surges in views and all that. No problemo. But thank you, Rebel Rumble Mania 1. Thank you very much. I'm with you. I'd like to see proof on that. We have Madeline who says, wonder who is paying the big bucks to send Megadeth to go against Massey. APAC and Marianne Adelson and the Trump PACs too. Trump went all in on getting rid of Massey. And if Massey pulls this off in a win, it is a huge death blow to the deep state, which now the Trump administration is a big part of. And we can make the case, always has been, and that's a longer discussion, and I'm not emotionally ready for that yet. Okay, let me go back here. Here we have the flock of cameras go to fusion centers. Yes, they're on a cloud. Yes. Okay, let me go one more here. Info at realdealmedia.tv. Close bill. You almost won. Maybe next year. Info at realdealmedia.tv. .com was stolen from me. That's a long story. The guy that did it, he's on the run. And if he's watching, I'll find you and I'll deal with you accordingly. BB. Bill Carson says BB calling D. Apparently, I didn't pick up, Bill, because I'm still here. Thank you, though. And finally, Ranger Buck, who's winning the Mark Twain Intellectual Prize Award of the night. Thank you very much, Buck, for being here. 33 cases of hantavirus, right? Well, that might be the case. I'd have to go back and watch the show again, Buck. You tell me. Or let me go one more here on Rumble. Real General Mahdi says RFK was thinking about cleaning our drinking water. Yeah, I'll tell you what. There was a plan that Roger Stone told me about. 2020 going into 2021, that he was going to start an effort to start cleaning the water in the United States, starting in Flint, Michigan. I don't know whatever became of that, but it's a problem. LA County water, just in LA alone, I can tell you how bad it is. I remember I would take a shower. When I was living in LA. Look, I come out of the shower within about 10 minutes. I'm peeling. My skin was dry, flaky. I had to just start moisturizing constantly because I looked like armadillo. Like I just was a mosaic. That's how bad the water in LA was. And it used to stink horribly. So, when they used to go to restaurants in LA and they give you the ice waters, I'm like, no mas, only Evian. But now Evian uses plastic bottles too. So, good point. Thank you for that. Yes, BB's calling. Okay, see what you started. All right. Anyways, that's now going to lead us to that sentimental moment. You guessed it. Final thoughts are brought to you by Give, Send, Go, where you can give a little, love a lot. Go to givesendgo.com/realdealgo. We can use your support and effort as my cancellation is approaching. This could be the last time we see each other. I don't want to think about it. Anyways, final thoughts here. Final thoughts as we now go into a wild summer, which I can't wait. I'll be sweating even more, but final thoughts for Police Day 2026. I'm going to put out what I shared with you earlier today in our segment about the cameras, the police state, because I think it's so important. It's so easy to get caught up in the national politics, international politics, Trump everything, and there's a lot of saturation with that. But the problem being, as we're busy looking and watching the soap opera, no matter how we feel about it, it's always these underlinking issues, the little cracks in the dam, whether it's cameras or more erosion of our privacies that happen while we're not paying attention. And it just takes one good steward of sound mind, all of us, to make a stink about it, because I think we should. We need to, because if not, we're kicking the can down to the generation beneath us who are not going to have a clue if we don't take a stand now, because the people before us, they couldn't cut the audition to take a stand against these people, or try to, and didn't really rise to the occasion. Well, now's our time. And so I'm going to put that out, and I hope people share it, because the more people are aware about it, we can beat these people where they are and where they're at. And that's the local city council. That's where the true fights happen. That's where the rubber meets the road. And that's where the fight needs to start and also end, within reach, that is. So I hope this was very meaningful to all of you out there. Anyways, I'm going to end it there. I want to thank everybody who has made this possible. Members, we might have a backstage later. We'll see. Hold your horses on that one. Okay, so for that, I'm out of here. I want to thank all of you for being here. For all of us here at World at War, the #1 late night show, I'm Dean Ryan saying thank you. Until next time, always remember to stay tuned, and always remember to stay awake. Good night, everybody. I need a cigarette.
Spend days window shopping, not knowing what you want to take home. Then you find yourself table hopping, not knowing where your heart will go. I don't mind not being not that as far as I can tell. I don't mind not going to heaven, as long as they got cigarettes, as long as they got cigarettes in there. They got cigarettes in there.